Hey everybody, Secondhand Dan here, coming to you from my workshop here in the Penny Pincher thrift shop land. This is the sign up there on the wall. I'm going to be replacing that with another sign. So let's see what I'm up to. This sign here is a bit of a beast. Metatarsal guards required for, what's back there? For conditioning yard personnel. Looks like it has something to do with maybe a scrap yard sign or a steel yard sign warning people to wear metatarsals. What a metatarsal is, if you know, everybody knows what steel toe shoes are. Well, metatarsals takes it to another level. There is a piece of metal that lays over top. You still have the steel toes. This is in a work boot though, but you'll have a metal exterior tongue that goes over this part. That's a metatarsal. So it helps you save your foot from when you drop heavy stuff on it. So this is the sign. It's a beast. It's a heavy gauge steel. I was thinking about taking it up to the antique mall for sale, but it's going to be difficult to display there right now. And this isn't just a piece of tin. That's a piece of steel. So it's going to go in place of this right-hand turn it, bend ahead sign. Now, I would have done this job 3 days ago, except I was looking for a certain tool. And I searched high and low. I searched all around my workshop, of course. This is where the place where it should be when not in use is up here with my battery-powered tools. What was obvious, it was not there. Of course, it was not on my workbenches. It was not in my showroom where most of the selling goes on in Penny Pincher's thrift shop. And I looked up and down this alley. I thought, well, maybe it's in a toolbox that I had taken out and brought back and set the toolbox in, or a cardboard box, or a canvas bag. I looked around and looked around. I couldn't find it. I looked in the other side of the building, up and down the aisles on the other side of the building. I was upstairs in where I'm doing some remodeling. I looked around there. I've been in my truck, looked under the seats. I've been up to a house that I'm doing some remodeling on. Twice I was up at that house. And it's really been bugging me as to where the missing tool was. Because I'm thinking, well, either fell off the truck, or is it possible somebody stole it? I hope not. I really don't have a big problem with theft. And after 3 days, it finally dawned on me that a family member might have it. And that's where it was. And it's probably been there for weeks at the family member's house. So now the wife, she doesn't understand why I don't like to lend out tools. And that's a good reason why, because I was pulling my hair out. I was like, am I about to go ahead and buy another one? So there it was. I retrieved it, and now I'm ready to do the job. My grandson Owen has been the busybody. He left this dinosaur here on the floor. What is that, Tyrannosaurus Rex? He left this, what I call the curiosity jar. Every once in a while I'll throw some little knick-knack in it. Maybe someday it'll be full. And he left the Bop It there. So I should get those out of the aisle. But he's upstairs right now. It's tough. You know, I love having him around me, but I get so little done when he's here with me because I got to watch he's not getting into something that's going to hurt him. Or, you know, I don't want him to accidentally grab a can of something to accidentally spray himself with it or drop something on his foot. So right now he's upstairs watching Curious George with his Nana. So first things first, I got to take this sign down off the wall, which is going to be easy peasy. All right, I'm going to try and use this here stylus pen that came with my phone as the pause button. I've had mixed results with it. Namely that, you know, if you're not paying absolute attention, you might pause it when it's already paused, so you're starting the recording, or you might hit the recording when it's already paused, and so you're not recording, you've paused it. So, but I'm going to try it again. So let me pause it for a moment. Like I said, the one issue is it stops the recording sometimes. I mean, stops it to 000. So basically, when I hit the button again, I'm starting a new recording. So it has to do with the amount of time you hold on to the button there. I know it's kind of hard to see. There it is. So I try and do a count, like 1, 2. I think if you go to 3, it goes to a complete stop mode. 1, 2. Okay, that I did the 1, 2 while holding it down, and then 1, 2, and then it started recording again. Okay, anyway, like I said, this sign is easy peasy to get down. It's just held on with, it's not even held on, it's just hung on a screw that's up there in the wall. So I figured time for a change anyway. You know, that's been there for, I don't know, it's 3 years maybe. Now, I've already gone ahead and figured out that I want the new sign to hang in the middle of the distance of these toolboxes. And these toolboxes were 75 inches. So, you know, doing some math, I figured out where the screw holes are going to go up there in the joist area. So it'll hang centered. Let's try that. Okay, and then that's another thing. I'm going to pull it out of my pocket. This is frustrating. Now my stylus has turned the picture all the way around. Is there a trick to it? Do I need to push to one side, longer, shorter? How do I get it to turn back around again? Let's try pushing it with my fingernail on one side. All right, well, I can just touch the screen and reverse it. Okay, let's elevate you. Oh, that's the tilt. Going up. Now, did I tell you what the tool was? You know, I pointed to it, but it's a impact driver. Now drills, I think I have 3 drills, so, but this was what's holding everything up. I was even getting ready to use my 1/2-inch impact gun. And that thing weighs 7.5 pounds, so that's a bit unwieldy to be trying to run screws in. It would have worked, but I'm glad I finally just located where that impact was. So I've got to stand up on top of these toolboxes. Pull this ladder in closer. I know I marked the distance, but I didn't mark the center of the stud, so I've got my square to mark the center of the stud. So we know that stud's 1.5 inches, so 3/4 is going to be centered. I've already, like I said, put red marks up here the other day when I was getting ready to do the job and had to quit because I couldn't find my impact driver. Now, I'm going to drill into the stud up here. It's actually sits on top of the concrete block all the way around. So, and I want to make sure that I drill at just a slight downward angle. So when I run the screw in, it'll slope towards the wall. So that anything that's hung on it will tend to slide towards the wall. And it doesn't take much, you know, you just figure you hold it level and then just bump it up a hair or two, and then a pre-hole drill. All right. Wipe the sawdust off the bit. Now, if you ever think you want lubrication on a screw like this has got the Torx head, and that's what's in here now. I've been known to drool on these things. I know it's kind of, it works though. You just have, puts a little lubrication on it. You don't want to use oil because oil's forever. It'll make, okay, one screw in, one to go. Yeah, like I said, the other mark is over that away. And then the hardest part, other than finding my missing tool, is going to be boosting that sign up here. So let me pre-drill the next hole. Oh, I got to mark the halfway point. Now that, so 3.5 inches wide, so 3/4 is the center. Okay. Get the drillio. Holding it level. Lining it up with the 2 marks. Now tilting it so it's drilling downward ever so slightly. Oh, I didn't load that one. Well, no, I don't lube the drill bit. I lube the screw. That's right. Okay. I don't want you to see this. It works for 1 or 2. I don't think you want to put a deck down that way. Alrighty. Alrighty. The screws are in place. Those are a heavy gauge green deck screw. Got one there. This lines up somewhere in this area with this toolbox. And I got one over there. This lines up with this side. So that should put the sign centered. Well, I just did some measuring, and I was initially thinking I was going to use chain to hang on the hook. And if I was to go with just one link of this chain, it's easily about 40 inches. And that would put it like about sitting right on top of that toolbox lip. And I don't want that look. I want a little gap in between them. So there's a change of plans. I'm going to go with these eye bolts. Got a pair of them. And they change the difference immensely. So it comes out to be about 37.5 from the top of this eye bolt all the way down to the bottom of the sign. The sign is 36 inches. So what change means I'm going to have to back those screws out and maybe pilot hole just a little bit bigger to run these eye bolts in. Often I'm a fan of being symmetrical, but these 2 eye bolts are close, but they're not identical. But I still got to go with them, so even looking through my eye bolt collection, these are the only 2 that are beefy enough and long enough to work in this purpose. Something like this might work, but it's going to be too short by the time I get it in. Plus, I only have one of those. Check these babies out. I was at a yard sale, and a guy had a bag of these. That's the shiny ones and the unzinc coated ones. And I think I got them for $5 for the bag full. And these things retail like $15 a piece. So I'm like, score! Now, I didn't know that was the retail on them when I bought them, but I figured, I wanted them in my collection anyway, but they go for $15 a piece. I'll probably use them in some of my steampunk creations. This is a drill bit I'm going to follow up as a pilot hole for. See how that hides behind there? It means it's smaller than. That's a quick way to gauge something, but that's what I'm going to re-drill those pilot holes. It'll be the same holes, so that'll be easy to follow. Oh, you can see nothing but my ankles. I want to let you back in on the action here. Now, my phone that I use for the camera here does not have a zoom on it when it's in this mode. And I'd like to be able to see the screen to see what I'm actually recording. If I flip it around, yeah, I got to get up behind it to see what the other side is seeing, but that doesn't help me as much as I would like. So, all right, first thing is to back out the screws that are in there. Change out my drill bit in this drill here. I know that drill bit that I use for the pilot for the screws is less than 1/8. This bit here, I can see the number 3 on it, so I'm assuming maybe it's 3/16. So that would make it a little less than 1/4, but alrighty. Rather than go back and forth between the two, I'm just going to go ahead and finish the one side. Now, I figured the length of the screw one is 4 inches, and the other one is pretty much 4 inches. So if I crank all the threads in, I should have, if I crank it into, there's nothing but 2 inches sticking out, I think I'm in good shape. Okay, I think to bring up a good tool to stick in there and wind those in. They do make a tool that actually fits in your drill, but unless you're doing hundreds of them, I don't see any point in trying to hunt down that tool for my use. I mean, if I came across one at the flea market for $1 or $2, I might go ahead and, quote, purchase it. Let's see, is this going to work? I have a star bit chisel. Okay, yeah, it fits in there, so it'll give me plenty of leverage to tighten that in there. Then I'm going to, as I get close, once all the thread disappear, I'll check with the tape measure and see. Like I say, I'm going to stop when it's 2 inches out, which is good because there's a sheet of 1/2 inch drywall and a 3/4 inch stud, so that'll cause it to hang pretty much flush. Okay, let me get all the way up on this toolbox. I don't even have to look at what I'm doing. I can just keep reaching, keep turning, keep reaching. As it gets harder, right now I've got the thing right the tool balanced in the middle of the eyelet. But once it gets harder, I'll slide the tool so that the longer end is on one side and I'll have more leverage. It's a lot hotter up here too than it is down on the ground floor. Okay, let's go for the extra leverage here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a reading with the tape measure. Looks like 2 3/4. Okay, I'm actually looking at it now. I got my head all the way up in here. That sign is pretty weighty. I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and weigh it before I hang it up here. I mean, there's no doubt that this is going to hold it, but I like to try. Let's see, if I'm going to guess the weight, I am going to guess 25 pounds. Because that was made to last, you know, in case it got smacked by a piece of junk or something, I guess, at the salvage yard. Okay, take a reading, tape measure. Looks like it's still 2 3/8. And the drywall sticks out 1 1/2 total. So I can definitely afford to bury this eye bolt. All right, well, I'm working up a sweat. I'll tell you what, let's get down from here and go get a drink of iced tea and weigh that sign. And then let me make sure I'm finished screwing this one in. It's about 2 3/16. You won't have to watch me deal with the other one. Okay. The Eagle has landed. I'm going to dust the top of my toolboxes off. The lips are pretty filthy. All right, let's weigh the sign. Oh, I take back. I said 25. Let's go with 15. What? I don't know. I don't know how to figure things out. That's 32 pounds. I guess I'm stronger than I realize. Well, there's 32 pounds. That means each hook up there is holding 16 pounds. All right, well, I'm going to do something here I really haven't been doing, and that is flip the phone around, and then I can zoom it. So, can't see myself on the screen right now, but I already focused on the screw up here, so that's where I'm hanging out. Did I focus on the right screw? There's 2 screws up here. Why is it going the wrong way? How did it get reversed? Or not reversed. Okay. Follow it up with this. And wind it in until it's 2 inches, just like the other one. Told you I wasn't going to make you watch this time, but I figured, well, since I'm zooming in, it's not the same as it was All right, let me get up on top of the toolbox. Ugh. See what I mean by got this star bit chisel halfway through because I don't need a whole lot of leverage just yet. But as it gets closer, I suspect I will. Okay, let's bring this around and measure it. And it says 2 3/8. It don't say anything. That's what it reads when I read the tape measure. I suspect at least another come around here. Okay. And there's that 2-inch mark. Okay. Watch I get down carefully. Actually, I got these in their vertical. They're going to need to be horizontal, so a quarter turn for each one more. Okay. Like I said, it's hot up there. So next I have to boost this 30-pound sign up on top of the toolboxes. And it was focused on the wrong screw. Sorry about that, Chief. What's going on? I don't see the... Oh, it went sideways. All right, the last thing I need to do is clean the sign off. I know it's got a layer of dust. Kaboom. Use Kaboom because they send me a free case every year. Not. No sponsorship here. It's just whatever's handy. I got several spray cleaners laying around various places. But a little polish to this gem. No doubt it is filthy. I got a little bit of money into it. I thought somebody was going to take it off my hands a long time ago for what I've been asking for it, but it's still here. And now that I've hung it up, I'm actually going to ask more because I have to go, I've got to figure all the trouble I went to hang this up and it's going to grow on me hanging up here. So the I do not want to sell it price is probably going to be the next price I put on it. And I think I'll try a little cleaner on that. I use charcoal starter to remove sometimes tar. Why charcoal starter? Because I usually get it at yard sales a lot of times for 50 cents or in a box I fill up with various things. And, you know, if they're cleaning out their garage, I'll throw in the charcoal starter too. Because it's good for a lot of things like that. It's lighter fluid. It's not as volatile as gasoline, that's for sure. It doesn't stink up the place like gasoline does. And sometimes you get it in these old-timey tins. All right, well, try and remove that. It looks like tar. So I'll soak my rag. Yeah. Oh, certainly don't believe in mint-condition signage, but if something is just, you know, smack dab in the middle of it and detracts from its vintageness, you want to try and remove it. Using my fingernail. I probably should have done that before I hung it up, but I really didn't notice it. I could have let it marinate on there for a while. I think my rag's too filthy. I've got this nice terry cloth. Take a couple swipes at it with this. Oh, it's breaking down. It just didn't come off lickety-split, you know. I actually took a level and put it on the top, and it may be running a 1/4 inch downhill. But there were a couple variables, you know. The hooks weren't exactly the same. The eyelets, I don't know if the hooks are exactly the same, but it's close enough. I mean, I probably could tweak it, but just put it this way: if it was a mill jockey hanging it up, it probably would have been a whole inch running downhill. God bless them old mill guys. They build America on their backs. The old steel mill industry. Closest I ever came to working in a steel mill, I was a security guard by a, not for the steel mill, but for a subcontractor that the steel mill had hired as night watchmen. I don't even know if this structure's still there. It was in Lawrenceville, PA. Universal Cyclops, it was called. All right, well, I'm not getting a whole lot of progress here. All right, I did lessen it. So, we're gonna let it ride. Don't let the simple stuff drive you crazy. So I don't want to sell it price, I'll put right here on the corner, get a sticker, and I'm thinking $155. What do you think? Put it in your comment down below. How much should I ask for that? I said it's a 30-pound sign. It's probably from the 70s. It's got a lot of character, so go ahead. Tell me what you think. All right, well, that's that. All right, I suspect a little bit the segment may have been sideways. If I leave it in, I apologize, but Working with a cell phone, not a GoPro. Okay. Let's go ahead and take down these power tools that haven't lost one yet of my DeWalt's, to damage. Okay. Now this is kind of riding high. Let's smooth that down, get this out of the way. I don't want, I've never had a serious fall. Never want to have one. Let's lay a board up in there. I don't know why, it just seems like a good idea if I put one on this side because the lip of this toolbox is a little bit higher. All right. Lifting. So I think it'll be easier to hang the left side first because it looks like a lot more footing on the top of this toolbox than on the right side. All I can say is it worked in practice. No, I did not practice hanging this sign. It looks like I'm going to have to swing the sign up too high to get the hooks to go through those loops, unless I turn the hooks around. There we go. Now I won't have to do that. Okay, so face the on the inside, drag it over this way. Tilt it, get one side behind the first toolbox. Stepping on the wood. I'm glad you're there, wood. Okay, got that side hooked. And like I said, I need to flip this hook around. To do that, you just feed it through and voila, and lift it up and set it in place. And it is well hung. Just, I could say like the present company, but I won't. All right. We are official. Now I got to start wearing my metatarsals in here. So this job is done. And I think I have like a dozen snippets to splice together in the end because I've been experimenting with the S Pen, trying to pause it and stop it and start it, and it just hasn't been working out. But in the end, I have a decent video, I hope. So give me a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, a comment. I'd appreciate that. This is Secondhand Dan, and I'm saying goodbye. I think I'm ready for a frosty one. Bye-bye.